Shaq is back, and the Colts picked the 53-man roster today. We'll react to that and a little bit more as we dive into it, guys. Thank you so much for joining the No Horsing Around podcast. Obviously, I'm your guy, Zach Boyd, one of two dudes just talking Colts football. Welcome to the family. If you've not been a part of this, welcome. We invite you to subscribe, hit those alert buttons. We're going to do a lot of live streams, a lot of fun stuff as the season goes. So, guys, tap in and be a part of that. And let's just jump right into it. The first 53, not a lot of shockers. Sam Ellinger, that was a little bit of a highlight. Hey, he made the team, but he also earned the right to be on this team. I don't think he was just given that. He had such a really, almost a prolific, preseason, a very, very good, solid foundation. A guy who can turn out to be at least a very good backup, in the years down the road in the NFL, and they want to see more. He's on that 53. One highlight that I would say to really kind of get ingrained in your head, this is the initial 53. This roster could look very different in the next 24 to 48 hours. Obviously we had a trade. We felt the need that we needed to upgrade on special teams, swap out that 7th and that 6th round draft pick, and we go out there and acquire us a linebacker, someone who could help us, on special teams. And we all know that Chris Ballard, he just values that special teams position. So I thought that was a prudent move and kind of kicked off the days and set things into motion. And one of the themes, I think, was special teams. As we keep going into that theme, Deion Jackson over Philip Lindsay. I thought they were probably going to keep 4. I thought Lindsay looked pretty good. But ultimately, at the end of the day, they felt like that they could do different things at different positions when it comes down to it. Obviously, we mentioned in the intro, Shaq Leonard's going to be active. I don't know when he'll be back. I'm targeting week 3, home opener, Kansas City. I'm calling it right now. Shaquille Leonard will be back in the Lucas Oil Stadium football field, running out of that tunnel, and we're going to go absolutely wild for him to come out, and Colts Nation is going to be in that sellout crowd. Should be a fun one. I will be there. Probably losing my voice if I'm being 100% honest with you, but should be fun. Some other things to look at. You had Kelly who was waived, gives him the right to go out there and probably look for some new work right away. I don't like our offensive line depth at all. We kept French on there. I think he's one guy that we kept today, but probably won't be on there tomorrow. I think he's probably a guy that gets reverted back to the practice squad when it's all said and done. We still got some business to take care of after the waiver wire. I thought Anthony Chesley played pretty decent in the preseason, would have earned a spot, but they clearly valued Dallas Flowers, his ability to play on special teams. And honestly, he's a better athlete. I don't have a problem with it, not whatsoever. I still thought they were going to go with Chesley, but I don't have any problem with sticking with Flowers as far as that goes. Weatherford, he's a guy I hope we can pull back and put on the practice squad. He's just a really good, solid, fundamental football player. And we just kept doming. I think he's probably got a little more upside, sideline to sideline. Probably fits the scheme of that Gus Bradley defense a little bit better when it comes right down to it. And then the wide receivers. I think many people thought that Kuti was going to be on there because of his special teams returning ability. But we decided to go with the 6 best pass catchers. And I thought that was the right decision, guys. Look, when you have young pass catchers, none of them are really proven outside of Michael Pittman Jr., and one of them can't stay healthy. You got to have the guys that can go out there and produce, and eventually you want to hit on one of these guys and find your eventual number 2, number 3 to go along with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr. down the road. I'd highlight positions of tight end, O-line, D-line, possible cornerback, as positions that we might, even wide receiver, that we might go out there on the waiver wire and scour. I think there's going to be multiple waiver wire pickups tomorrow. Or I should say, maybe walk that back a little bit and say we're going to put in multiple claims. Now, if we get them, we get them. If we don't, we don't. But I think that Chris Ballard's going to be fairly aggressive. I think there's an obvious understanding that we need to upgrade up front on both sides of the football. I don't think it would hurt at all to look at some of the wide receivers out there. You got a guy like Joe Haig out there that got released. He's familiar with the situation. I don't know if that makes sense, but he's a total utility lineman. He can play guard, center, tackle. He kind of does it all. That makes a lot of sense. Here at the tail end of his career, wouldn't expect a whole lot of money when it comes right down to it as far as that goes. Fun, interesting times to be an Indianapolis Colts fan. Our initial team's been put together. A lot of work to do. Not done yet. Next 48 hours, I expect there to be a few transactions transpire, maybe bring in some veterans as well. We've got a little bit of money, a little bit of space after releasing a couple people. And we'll just see. I mean, I want to know your guys' reaction. What was your favorite guy who made the team? What was the one that hurt the most? When we talk about losing players and not everybody was able to fit into this final 53 because we're a pretty loaded team. But to be a loaded team, I would say you got to really, really get a little bit better. As the season goes, it's inevitable. Your D line and your offensive line break down. You're going to need those veteran backups to come in there. Another name to be watching out for is Taylor Stallworth. He got released by the Chiefs today. He's a player that you might go out there and say, hey, let's pick him up. Or you could say, you know what, let's just let the 24 hours go. No one signs him. Let's sign him to a veteran minimum, bring him in here on the cheap, and let him do exactly what he did last year. I thought he had a really nice year last year for the Indianapolis Colts. But as far as all of the rest, it's for you. It's about you. This is your show. You guys run the show like always. No horsing around, family. Light us up in the comments. Let us know everything that you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see with the free agency waiver wire. Back tomorrow doing a live stream. Set those alert buttons, and Steve and I will react. And we'll have a really good time. We always have fun. Spend about an hour on there with you guys, and really have a good time getting to know more and more people, as well as all of the normal people who are in the room. Wanting to see Nomad, wanting to see Dylan for sure in there this time. Dylan's missed the last couple live streams while they were live. Love to have your interaction. Until then, go Colts.